Boom! Welcome to the Flying Can Ranch at Cedar Creek Lake, Texas. At any rate, I want to do something vastly different than what I normally do. And I'm a little bit of a disadvantage here. So, let's just get on with it. What we have today is a Umarex Airjavelin. And we're going to come down the line and we're going to cover a couple of sections on this. And down the line we'll flip it over. And we'll come back down the line so you can get a good look at it. We'll rotate it to the business end. So, let's go over a couple of specs. So this is the Airjavelin. And it produces about, I think it's 34 foot-pounds of energy at about 300 feet per second. Now they also make a thing called the Airjavelin Pro, and that's a PCP version, and that cooks off about 370 feet per second. But let's focus on this one for the time being. Now, this uses an 88 gram CO2. But there's a way around that, but I will get to that too. You do have a weaver rail along the top here for mounting your optics. You also have M locks down each side that you can add some things with. The arrows that come with this, and we'll go over that individually, but I believe they're 50 grain. But well, I'll show you. And this does come with a set of adjustable fiber optic sights. I put a Axion, you know, it's got a green and a red and different colors and sizes and all that. They're kind of a pain to mount, but that's what I put on it. I did try putting a scope on it, and that didn't work out so well. Hey, stop. Never fails when I make a video. So, let's talk about a few things. I'm going to sit this down a second. Now, it does come, you got to put them on there, but Rod, get out of there now. It does come with these fiber optic sights. Here's the front one, and it's got a little Allen thing there that you mount it with, along with the sights. It comes with a little mounting wrench. And this is the rear sight, a little like peep type configuration, which in my opinion is kind of useless. You know, I had that set up pretty high and I was still just nailing the very bottom of the target. The very first couple I shot, it just dirt dived. So that being said, that's all I can say about the sights that come with it. So if somebody's made them work, let me know, because I couldn't get them to do anything as far as I'm concerned. Now, bear with me, because I'm lucky today. Now the gun itself, we're going to go back to the gun for just a second. I just want to show the sights come with it. This does have an adjustable type, you know, setting right there on the stock itself. Kind of rubberized, got a little bit of the bit to it. As we come back down here, some stippling here. Kind of a good grip base here. We'll get to this. Like I said, the weaver rail, the M locks, and that, and then you have a very positive right here above the trigger. It's a very positive safety thing. Now, every now and then, my safety right after I cocked it would pop back a little bit. I'd have to catch it and redo it. And then we'll come down the other side, and this is where your cocking lever is. Now that's in the box. You have to mount that back in, you know, screw that in yourself. It was kind of forward ahead, but I used a small harmless screwdriver to scoot it back a little bit so I could catch that and get it locked in. Now, also on this side is a little button. And if you push that button like this whole piece just slides off, and there's your 88 gram CO2. We'll pop that back together. So, there you go. That's it. Pretty much in a nutshell. The grip is kind of small, but I like it. And it fits up real good. I like the feel of it. I guess my brain went to sleep. I forgot to put down the actual weight and the length and all that stuff. I don't know what's wrong with me today. A little off key. It's not very heavy at all. Like, I don't remember, 3 pounds or something like that. It's very light, very easy to carry around. Now, again, it takes these 88 gram CO2s. I think they make them in 90 also. And I bought this spare with me just in case. But they also, you can buy for about 34 bucks a conversion. So basically, you're going to make sure this is screwed all the way up. You're going to open this up, and you're going to drop a CO2 neck down, and the next one is neck up. Then you'll screw this back together. Now, I watched one guy said it's better to have this in the gun than at the CO2s. I tried that, and I've heard reports of people getting about 12 shots out of these, 11, 12 shots. But really about the most I could get was 4 really good ones, and then on the 5th it just really started to drop. So maybe I need to put this in and then put the CO2s in first and then add it. He said it's kind of hard to screw in once the CO2's in it. I haven't tried it that way yet. I'm just saying I never got 11 shots out of it, which is kind of weird, but I might put this on something else. So I wanted you to know that these are available. And I don't remember if I got this from Airgun Depot or Pyramid Air or whatever, but it is a conversion. So once you get it in, you're just going to screw this down until you hear them, hiss and break through. So there is a possibility right there. I'll play with it. If I find out any different and I do a review on something, I'll let you know if I got to wait for it to work a little better. Now let's get to these arrows. Now it's kind of odd that most people say you're only supposed to use these arrows in it. But in the actual, when I read about it in Airgun Depot, they claim you can use, but these are carbon fiber, a lot like you would use in a crossbow. And these aren't all that long, but you can reach in here and just unscrew that tip all the way out, and you can put some broadheads or mechanical tips on the end of this if you choose to use it for hunting. I wouldn't use it for target. It makes them kind of hard to get out of the box. Now this arrow is a new one, and you can see the fleshing looks very good shape. This is one I've used. Wipe it down a little bit. I've used, that's a little warped. I've tried to, that one got tore a little bit right there. This one's been used quite a bit. Now, when I was trying to get everything sighted in and this and that, I lost 2 arrows. I bought a lot of extras because I figured I probably would do something like that. So with a little practice, and maybe they make a scope for it that works. I read a review where one guy put a scope on it. It was working pretty good. I put one on it, and I had it dialed everywhere you think, and just kept going low. So I finally played with this, and so the reason I'm at such a disadvantage here is I'm not real familiar with bows, arrows, and I've had, I've worked a little bit with these dot sights. This one I think is a blue and a green and a red, and it's got like 3 different settings for each color, like a big one, smaller, and then even more pinpoint. I've been using a smaller one. It's kind of cloudy out today. It's worked pretty good. Now, one thing I want to point out, when you load these arrows, number one, don't have it cocked. I'm serious, and just in case something messes up, because that would be very, very bad. You have this little piece on the end, and you put the arrow over the top, and you let it go down. And when it hits the bottom, you push it, and it goes a click, and then another click. So you need 2 clicks to load the arrow. Don't wait for 1 click and then lock down the other one. You'll lose it. Now, the other thing I want to point out, and I'm going to show you, is, we'll lock the safety for now being. This thing is loud. And I'm going to show you here. I'm going to scoot off the side, and I'm going to try to hit this target. Let's turn this on. Get my safety off. Now that 88's been used quite a bit, so it's loud. I want you to pay attention to that. I can get away with it a little bit in my neighborhood. If you've got a urban area, I wouldn't advise you cutting this loose. I'm just telling you that. So, but all in all, I'm pretty happy with it. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to get it set up down here. I'm going to move my extra CO2 down. So in case I'm doing the review, this one peters real quick. But it hit pretty hard then, and I'm not quite sure where I hit it at. I shot it at a lower one. And we'll do a couple of shots with it. And another thing I want to point out, this was about 25 feet off, but I went clean through that can with it. I mean, it just went straight through, and it ended up inside the target box. I was using a variety of things. I've actually got a target thing out of this made specifically for shooting arrows into. I picked it up last night. Thank you, honey. But at any rate, so we're going to get everything moved over. I'm going to try it at about 40 yards, right around 40 yards out. And we'll shoot it, and we'll see what it does. So I'm going to kind of just shoot like 3 at a time, and then we'll see. I bought a lot of extra arrows, so we'll see how that works out. And then we'll go look at the target, and then we'll pull them out, and maybe I'll do another 3. I doubt I'll shoot it can, but who knows? I might try that. But I just wanted to let you know about it. It's a cool thing, and this is probably about as economically as you're going to get into air bows. Now, I personally, I don't hunt anymore, but and you'll see why in a minute. I don't think I would really try to hit a deer with this. I'd have to be really close. This is really made for smaller game, you know, my opinion, and that's what a lot of other videos say, you know. Now, I watched one where a guy dropped one, but I don't think I would try it. I don't think it's got enough up at that range, at about 40, 50 yards out. Maybe with a fresh, I mean, brand new, it might go in there, because I think it might be, but just my personal opinion, and to be humane about everything, I don't think I would try it. Now, maybe I'd like to see how the Airjavelin Tro performs. And then, of course, you know, a lot of other companies make these, but they're much more expensive than this is, trust me. Those are probably going to be, you could get away with it. Dragon Claw makes one, or whatever they call it. But we'll get everything transported over, and then we're going to load this thing up, take about 3 shots. Now, I'm going to say now, the one thing that I don't really like, and I'm just going to say it before I even do the shooting review, there's quite a bit of traveling at a dead stop point, and it's a little hard to pull. So you got to really work on your you know, your trigger pull, so you don't, you know, jerk it or, you know, jump the gun. And you know, anybody that's ever used these dot type sights knows that that can be bad. It can kind of, I mean, it won't go way bad, but it kind of makes it jump off the target. So it is a very crunchy trigger. Some people said they wish it was an adjustable, but it is not. It does appear to be a metal trigger though. So the rest of it is pretty much just all polymer, except a little loading shaft down on the end. So let's get this thing moved over, take the extra CO2 with me. We're going to put together a shooting review, and we'll just see how it works out. So that's how we do it at the Flying Can Ranch. I'll see you in just a little bit.